A lone figure, adorned in a vibrant orange poncho and a peculiar golden mask, walks through a desolate desert landscape. They have their face buried in their hands. The character's dark, wavy hair peeks out from under the mask. Their lavender skin is visible on their hands and neck, adding to their unusual appearance. They wear a green scarf and are equipped with a backpack and various tools, including a large canteen and a strapped sword. The wind whips at their poncho as they trudge forward through the arid landscape. In the distance, towering rock formations stand stark against the clear sky, while white smoke-like clouds curl around the ground. Scattered wreckage hints at past battles or a civilization that once existed here. Two figures are confronted by a massive ice-like giant in a frozen landscape, identified as Jotunheim, the domain of the frost giants. One of the figures, with short dark hair and a bare torso, looks visibly alarmed, his expression filled with worry, stating, "There is no way I'm going anywhere near that thing, Fang." He stands back, trying to distance himself. The other figure, with a fair complexion and a small beard, appears more determined, crouching low with a confident smirk. His hands are glowing with yellow energy, and a line of fire is forming around his feet. He states, "How you think? Doesn't seem so tough to me, Dakin." He appears ready to engage the giant, despite the size of the opponent, as the colossal figure looms behind them, its icy texture stark against the dark, rocky environment. In a snowy, mountainous environment, two figures stand among a scattered forest of birch trees. The figure with the mohawk has a dark bruise around his eye, looks back in anger, and questions /wait. "How do you know about that?" He is shirtless, his left arm missing at the elbow. The other figure with pointed ears and a beard stands beside him, retorting "I told you. I saw your father every year. We talked. You know, kids, work, all the usual stuff. He told me lots of things about you. You got up to some crazy business, my friend A memory appears in the scene, showing a hulking blue figure labeled as Beast standing with Iron Fist and Daredevil on either side of him. The character with the mohawk questions "You know who used to really impress your dad? Guys like Daredevil, Iron Fist. He said they fight in pajamas. He couldn't get over it A speech bubble describes Beast as the biggie was Beast. Hank McCoy. He just wears underwear, tighty whities. Logan called them backslash. It continues and none of those guys ever had a healing factor The scene returns to the snowy environment, focusing on the shirtless figure with the mohawk, who states with a serious expression, they also all had two arms The character with the pointed ears, now identified as Fang, is facing the ice giant, saying, "And how will fighting that thing help you figure out who killed Logan anyway?" The other figure with the mohawk stands further back, hands on his hips, and replies, "Yeah, sure, have fun. Like I said, not going anywhere near it." Fang replies, that sounds like a challenge. I like it," as he launches himself into the air, soaring toward the giant. The figure with the mohawk looks down at his reflection on the ice and asks, "What?" Fang yells out, "Hey, Bunduck, it's me, Fang. Hope you're good. You good?" The giant responds with a grunt gra. Fang is now clinging to the giant and says, "Fantastic. Look, you won't believe this, but..." In the final panel, Fang has moved to the base of the giant and gestures towards the figure with the mohawk and says, "I found your dad. That's him, right over there." The giant's face is shown, eyes glowing bright yellow, asking a rumbling RRR. The ice giant roars, GRR. And Fang yells out, "That's him, Bunduck." The figure with the mohawk responds with, "Oh no." The ice giant responds with RRR, then declares, "The one who abandoned you when you were born." The figure with the mohawk turns away and states, "Damn it." A yellow energy beam emits from Fang, slicing up the ice surface below him. As he does this, he says, "Fang, shut up," and begins to move away from the giant. Fang continues, "Your poor sainted mother was forced to work in the mines under that volcano. She'd damn near melt every single day, wouldn't she?" The figure with the mohawk yells, "Fang, shut up." Then Fang, while scaling the ice giant, retorts, "Oh, I know, buddy, it was tough growing up without a dad. But he's here now. You got anything you want to say to him?" The ice giant grabs the surface of the ice with both of his hands while yelling, "Ararag." The figure with the mohawk quickly climbs up an ice formation while saying, "Fang, you son of a..." The scene opens with a title reading, "The Changeling." Inside a dimly lit room, a woman with long dark hair is laying in bed with a man wearing a red helmet. The man says, "Wow, it's never been like that before. I've never done some of that before." The woman replies, "I have." She then says, "I thought your hands would be, well, tricky, but no." The woman raises her hand, revealing long, sharp metal claws. She looks down at them and asks, "How is this possible, Shargan? You move like an old lover of mine, a man named Argan. You even fight like him. But I saw him not long ago. He was trying to kill me. You do not want to kill me, it seems." "I'm not sure I completely understand it myself, Deathstrike, but..." The man responds by saying, "No, not at all. The opposite." The woman is facing away from the man and continues, "Do you have an actual name? Neuro had the file on you, but I never saw it. Calling you Lady Deathstrike, especially now, just seems." She then reveals that her real name is, "My name is Yuriko Oyama." The man in the red helmet states, "Yuriko, that's nice." A red box highlights text saying, "This woman is not nice, you fool. She is called Deathstrike for a reason." Then the man states, "Argan is in me, in my head." A flashback panel shows a man in silver armor with a red, demon-like figure behind him and a speech bubble reading, "He's a spirit of some kind, a demon maybe. It's hard to know what to believe from the things he says." Another flashback shows the man in silver armor laying on the ground surrounded by a red aura with the text, "Anyway, he tried to possess me not long ago, take over my body when I was injured back at Paradise from fighting Wolverine." The text continues, "It worked, but not all the way. He says he was too weak." The man in the red helmet is shown in the foreground and says, "So now we're sort of mixed. He taught me to fight the way I do now. Before Argan, I could box a little, had some hand-to-hand training, but my specialty was firearms, none of this ninja stuff." Yuriko is next to him and states, "That's not all he taught you." The man in the red helmet responds, "Heh." The ice giant roars, "NNN-Ra," as Fang runs across his shoulder. He yells out, "That's right, Bunduk, get him. Get that little man who's the root of every problem you've ever had in your entire life." The figure with the mohawk stands in the background, speaking, "If only he had been there for you. You might have learned how to have healthy relationships with frost giantesses. Or maybe not. I hear this one's no great shakes in the love-life department. I'm going to kill you, Fang." Fang is then shown as he argues with the figure with the mohawk, saying, "Yeah, didn't you try that already? Anyway, last time I checked, you're stuck in a cave with a huge frost giant doing his best to eat you." The figure with the mohawk says, "Call this monster off. I'm not his father. How would that even work?" And Fang replies, "Love finds a way." The figure with the mohawk yells out, "I'm not here to help you. You want to kill me, you'll have to get out of here first." The figure with the mohawk leaps from the ice giant while exclaiming, "Ah," and yells, "Fang, why are you doing this? I didn't kill Logan. If this is revenge, you've got the wrong man." Fang says, "Oh, I know that, pal. You weren't anywhere near Wolverine when he was killed." The figure with the mohawk continues to yell, "So call off the giant." Fang responds, "Nope. You want an explanation, you'll have to get yourself out. Your dad could have done it." The ice giant, looking down, grumbles, "NNNGH." A large red glow emanates from the next panel as the figure with the mohawk is surrounded in red, his fist clenched and claws extended while stating, "My father is dead." A scene unfolds inside a sophisticated bar in Madripoor at night. A woman with dark hair, wearing a black and white outfit with gold accents, sits at the bar with a fox-like creature perched beside her. Behind her stands a man in a blue tuxedo. The woman says, "Illusion holding up Culpepper." And the man responds with, "Seems to be, Phantomel. You haven't been asked to remove your dog from the world-famous Princess Bar yet, at any rate." The woman then replies, "You're a fox." And the man responds, "Why thank you, darling, but I doubt there's anyone sober enough in here to make the distinction." The woman says, "Touché, darling. So how should we do this thing?" And the man states, Shouldn't be too hard. I don't see any alarms. The panel changes to show a framed picture on the wall. A black eye patch hangs beside it. The woman says, "It's almost like they don't think anyone would want to steal a ratty old eye patch." And the man responds with sharking. In the next panel, the man with the blue suit is shown with his back to the bar, and he says, "I can think of 1,000 ways to get it. This barely qualifies as a job. Perhaps not, but it pays like one. Count your blessings." The final panel shows the woman with a smirk. She says, "Okay, if I can't get points for difficulty, I'll have to get them with style." To which the man responds, "Oh no, you aren't going to try a flirt and divert again, are you? Elle, you are not good at that." The woman, Fantomelle, says, "What do you expect? We haven't been alive all that long. This is only like the 3rd bar I've ever been to. If I don't practice, I'll never get better." The man next to her, Culpepper, responds with, "Fine. Do your worst. I'll grab the patch while this poor bartender, who is only trying to do his job, is distracted by whatever nonsense you are about to spray at him." The man then says, "Spray. Just be quick, Culpepper. We'll lose the illusion once you break contact." Fantomelle, with a big smile, says, "Hey yourself, can I get you something? That is an amazing towel." "Where do you get a towel like that?" The bartender responds with, "Dear God." Fantomelle says, "The towel store," and then states, "I need to get over there. Get myself a towel. You're so hot you're making me sweaty." Culpepper states, "Great work." The fox-like creature jumps off the bar and flies behind the counter, and the man behind the bar says, "Shut up. You said spray and that made me think about his towel and just get the damn eye patch." The fox-like creature is shown close up and it says, "I have it." I'm not sure how this was smarter than just breaking in after hours, but I suppose a woman at the bar states, "Oh my God, there's a wolf behind the bar." The bartender, looking distressed, yells, "What the hell?" The fox-like creature is shown looking at the woman and says, "Well, I'll be damned. Wolf, eh? Sometimes people really can surprise. Why?" Culpepper says, "Pay attention, Culpepper." The scene shifts as Fantomelle and the fox-like creature crash out of the window of the bar. Fantomelle says, "It was a lot of guns. Where were those women hiding them in those tiny little dresses?" The fox-like creature responds, "It's Madripoor, baby. Even the sun carry guns." Fantomelle looks around and says, "That makes no sense." And the fox-like creature says, "That is also Madripoor, baby." Fantomelle looks down and says, "Where's the eye patch?" And the fox-like creature says, "I have it." Fantomelle replies, "Okay, but where?" The fox-like creature states, "I swallowed it. I didn't mean to. When the first gun went off, I just..." The scene shifts to the back alleys of the city at night. Fantomelle yells, "Ah!" The fox-like creature states, "We'll wash it before we give it to the client." Fantomelle responds, "Might be for the best." The scene shifts with a title card reading, "Meanwhile." The figure with the mohawk lunges forward with extended claws, hitting the ice giant and saying, "Stupid." Blood spurts from the point of contact on the giant's arm. The ice giant roars, "Ah!" as Fang flies around in the air, dodging the giant's attack. The figure with the mohawk continues to attack while running across the ice and saying, "Gigantic thing," as ice breaks under his feet. The giant yells, "NNNNRA." The figure with the mohawk is shown climbing a jagged ice formation with the ice giant in the background. The figure then leaps into the air, extending his right arm, which glows with a blue, icy energy, and exclaiming, "Die." The figure continues, "NNN nope." Fang flies towards the figure in the air and asks, "What are you doing? I had him." The final panel shows the figure in the foreground, who now has orange clothing, falling to the ground and saying, "Oof." Fang is shown touching the ice giant's chest and says, "There you go, buddy. Heal you up. Send you home. You won't remember any of this." Fang then turns to the figure with the mohawk, who is now standing, and says, "You were going to kill him." The figure responds, "He was going to kill me. Maybe. If he'd gotten you, but he didn't, you got him, you had him down, and you decided to kill him." Fang states, "Yeah, you know why." The figure with the mohawk, looking angry, yells, "I am not my father." The scene shifts to a close-up of Fang, who says, "Nope." In the final panel, Fang is holding up a barrel and stating, "Here, let's have a beer." Fang says, "Go ahead. It's nice and cold. one of the big advantages of hanging out in Jotunheim. The figure with the mohawk responds, "Oh man, I just realized one arm, you can't open it, can you?" Fang holds out his hand and says, "Here." The figure with the mohawk is surrounded by a red glow and says, "Let me give you a hand." My God, you can just call me Fang, no need to get formal. Open your beer, you'll want to drink it before it freezes. The figure with the mohawk opens the beer and as the text, "Kate Shack," appears. Fang and the figure with the mohawk are sitting by a fire. Fang says, "So I got out. You said you'd explain. What is this? Did he ask you to mentor me? Try to get me to change?" The figure with the mohawk responds, "Your dad." And then says, "Logan. He was never my dad." Fang, holding a burning stick, says he did like to mentor, to guide young people. He did it a lot. Kitty Pride, Jubilee Hisako. But no, he didn't want me to do that with you. The figure with the mohawk says, "Good. I'm not a child, Fang. I was born in 1946. There is nothing left to guide." Fang is shown in a close-up, then says, "Oh, he knew that, all too well. Most of the time, Logan talked about you like you were a monster, some ugly thing. He saw me not long after he thought he drowned you in Hammer Bay. You know what he felt? Guilt, sure. Regret. But mostly," the figure with the mohawk, looking down, says, "relief." Imagine that, a father feeling nothing but relief after killing his child. Then Fang asks, "Does that sound more like the father you knew?" The figure with the mohawk looks up and says, "Yes. Yes, it does." The figure with the mohawk is sitting by the fire as he says, "Why did you tell that giant I was his father, for God's sake?" Fang responds, "I thought it'd be funny." I mean, imagine some guy you've never met tries to kill you because you're his father and he blames you for a bunch of stuff you never actually did instead of looking at his own crappy life choices. And then says, "Funny, right?" The figure with the mohawk responds, "Hilarious." The figure with the mohawk says, "Well, whatever. Thank you for the arm and the eye, I get the idea. My father's last gift to me, an opportunity to change my life." "You can believe me, Fang." The figure's left arm is shown glowing red and Fang says, "Ah, right, that reminds me." Fang snaps his fingers and the red glow dissipates. The figure is shown saying, "No," as red energy emanates from his body and says, "Why?" Fang, shown in close-up, says, "Why? Felt like it." Then says, "Logan hated all of you, except Laura. I'll try to help her, but the rest of you hated you. No second chances, no redemption." Don't look for that from Fang. The figure with the mohawk, now with claws extended, states, "I don't kill unless I have to. Your father and I had that in common, but I can honor his memory by making all of your lives absolutely miserable for a while. Especially his selfish, murderous, insecure, 75-year-old child. Him I just like to screw with." The scene is in South Africa at the Tortona gold mine, 2 miles deep. A group of people, including Mystique, X-23 and Sabretooth, are standing in a large open space. A speech bubble says, "There, I've hidden the changeling as well as I possibly can without actually leaving Earth." Another speech bubble says, "This should buy us some time to devise a plan to rid ourselves of this Fang. No one toys with Raven Darkholme this way. No one." In the next panel, a hologram of Fang appears with a group of people around him. A voice calls out, "SHH, hey everybody." Another speech bubble with Pop appears, along with the voice saying, "Dakin, are you all right?" Dakin is shown, his arm around the figure with the mohawk, who says, "No, someday, somehow I will kill that guy." The figure with the mohawk is then shown close up, saying, "That's the spirit, buddy. Leave him alone." Then Fang is shown, looking down, saying, "Ooh, touchy." I can confirm, however, that Dakin here was not responsible for Logan's death. He's off the hook. X-23 says, "Neither was I. If you need to take me on some stupid trip to prove it, just do it." Then X-23, her eyes glowing, says, "You'll get your turn, X-23, but not yet. Right now." The final panel shows Fang next to Sabretooth, who is looking away, stating, "I thought perhaps Mr. Creed might like to spin the wheel." And Fang says. The scene opens with Yuriko in bed with the man wearing a red helmet. She asks, "Is Argon still in your head? Does he talk to you?" The man replies, "God, yes, he never shuts up." A red speech bubble says, "You would be dead 10 times over if it weren't for my advice, and you know it." Yuriko responds, "This is fascinating. He and I were..." Close, very close until we weren't, but that is a hazard of this life. She then says, I never thought we would be together again. As the man replies, you still aren't. He's in my head, but he's just a voice. It's not like a threesome or something. Yuriko states, I don't know what this thing we're doing is, but I like it. The man continues with, I'm going to try to grab a little sleep. Stay or go, Yuriko, but I hope you'll stay. Yuriko responds with, good, I will stay, Shagun. Then a red speech bubble from the man says, you know what this means, don't you? The final panel shows both of them in bed with Yuriko saying, yes, as the Americans like to say, three's a crowd. Thanks for tuning in. Stay curious, stay awesome, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button for more amazing content.